Welcome back. Just before the break, we were talking about how to achieve peace, how to establish peace, and why do we need peace at all? And my guest was saying that just because we are sitting here, you can see that there is peace because we are sitting comfortably, talking to each other, smiling at each other. That's very good. How to achieve peace, create and secure peace for all on a global basis, you see. You said that there is a history of peace departments in the world. People have forgotten. Would you like to remind?
Yes. The Department of Peace has got a long history, 150 years old. Two persons, one African American, Benjamin Banneker, and the other Benjamin Bush. They, a physician from Philadelphia, they wrote an essay about the creation of Department for Peace. The whole idea was that before the conflict starts between nations or peoples, it should be, there should be dialogue and diplomacy before conflict starts.
Yes.
Because at that time in American history, there was a War Department. And the War Department's main job was to exterminate the Indians who were American in America.
The Red Indians.
The Red Indians. To exterminate and take their lands. And that's how it's very brutal, the American history, if you go into it.
Yes.
So they wrote this to say, if there is a War Department, why shouldn't we have a Peace Department?
Right.
And at that time, that essay they wrote attracted the attention of Thomas Jefferson, who was one of the leading authors of Declaration of American Independence. And he was quite enthusiastic about that essay, that yes, we should have a Peace Department. But still, it doesn't matter how warm he was to the idea, Peace Department was not, it did not happen. But after the Second World War, there were 85 attempts in the Congress with the senators from both parties, the Republican and Democrats, who introduced bill after bill for a creation of Department of Peace.
But it wasn't approved.
But it was never approved. Although, very surprisingly, there was no opposition from both the parties, but its apathy of the electorate and things like that, it didn't happen. In the modern times, in 2003, John McDonnell, the present shadow Labour Chancellor, he introduced a bill of Ministry for Peace in UK Parliament, a 10-minute bill, and it passed unopposed, but it fell because of lack of parliamentary time. So after that, the idea is prevalent because the Labour government put it in their manifesto that we are going to have a Department for Peace when we come in power. So the idea is bubbling, and I think the time is coming right for this Department for Peace. So that is the history, how it has evolved. And because of that, it made me think that flesh it out, how a Department of Peace will look like, what it will do, and how it will deter wars.
Why is this idea? I mean, I know that the Labour Party is very warm to this idea of Department of Peace, but what is your reading? I mean, why isn't the Conservative Party, the party in power right now, not warm towards that?
Yeah. It is although the idea has been floated by the Labour Party, but it's a cross-party issue. Peace is not one-party issue.
True.
So, because when I wrote the book, I went to Lib Dem conference a week ago in New York, and having a meeting and speaking to people and presenting my book and everything. So in June I'll be going to Green Party conference in Scarborough, and then to Labour Party conference.
Good.
And we have to have a groundswell at the activist level,
Right.
at the grassroots level, and then at the governmental level with the members of parliament and parliamentarians, so that this idea is floated. And you're very valid when you say why the Tory party is not warm to this idea, because this is traditionally a warmonger party. But it is a commonsensical thing, because they are quite, shall we say, aligned with the leaders and with the corporations and with the arms manufacturers. So I think once this idea floats and has got traction, then I think they will come around to the idea that peace is much better than war.
Yeah, but their point is that if we have deterrent, like if we have arms, if we have the nuclear power, if we have all the ships, we have submarines, see, we have planes, jets, then we can rattle them and scare people away, and that will ensure peace. That is the whole idea.
Yeah, but you
but
don't...
peace at what cost?
Yeah, exactly. You don't go to war to bring peace, because that is never ever lasting.
That's what they say, they're fighting for peace.
Yeah, they're fighting for peace. But the example is in front of us, Bob, in front of us. We are in Afghanistan 17 years, Iraq 14 years, Syria 7 years, Yemen now over 5 or 6 years. And we have not been able to achieve peace because
Palestine
and Israel has been 60 years conflict. So all these Western governments are interested in selling armaments to people. Like is over 4 billion armaments have been sold to Saudi Arabia, who are bombing Yemen. Yeah. So peace cannot be achieved with the barrel of a gun, you know. So peace has to be achieved by peaceful means. There is no way you can achieve peace by going to war. It's a fallacy that you go to a country, bomb them to the hilt,
yeah,
and then tell them to sit down and talk peace. It doesn't work that way, because the famous saying goes, violence begets violence.
True.
Violence doesn't bring peace.
But will they buy this idea of peace? Because, you know, there is a lot of money involved. People are making money. There are big corporations, see. There are people who are the middlemen, see. They can be in politics, they can be out of politics, they can be the underworld, and they are making a lot of money, see.
Yeah.
What happens to the armaments, who gets killed, that is not their business. Their business is to sell arms and armaments, see. And as long as we keep talking about peace, it's okay. They say, okay, you keep talking about peace, but we are selling the arms. We are manufacturing the arms, you see. Are they prepared to listen to these simple ideas of establishing peace, or are they going to be busy with their own business?
Well, there are many arguments about this. One is the moral argument.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are killing people. You are to earn money. You are killing people. That's the moral argument.
Yeah.
So, which all scriptures, all religious books, all morality and ethical books say that is not the way forward. Secondly, when you say you are making money, there are many better ways to make money. If it is all about money, it will be a lot cheaper to give these weapon manufacturers their profit per year to build a peaceful world. Even then, I tell you, the amount spent on armaments is a wasted, shall we say, capital wasted, because the only shall we say, purpose of armaments or guns or tanks and army planes, etc., is to kill people.
But they said that we don't kill people. Guns don't kill people, see, men kill people. That's the whole idea, see. So when we plan...
If that was the case, why are they selling guns?
As a deterrent, see.
No.
You keep it so people will not attack you. They are scared of you. You will be scared of them because they have guns, and they'll be scared of you because you have guns. So there
So
will be
that
peace.
is, okay. Yeah, if you say, if UK says we have got all these armaments and weapons and nuclear bombs, because it's a deterrent. Same goes for China and Russia and US. So all these are together in arms race.
Yeah.
Is this the way we want to progress in 21st century or
This-
coming? So we have to draw a line, yeah, to say this is not the way the world should go. The world should have conflict resolution. World should go the way of
Conflict
culture
management.
of peace, and world should go the way of educating our youngsters, our children, and our adults, that and our leaders.
True.
We need to train and educate our leaders that it is not wars which bring peace. It is working for peace which will bring peace. It's just like the same as you can say. We live in a military culture, yeah, and we got military academies, we got armies, and
We have, in our schools, we have national cadet system, and then the children go and get trained how to use a gun.
it's shameful that we are encouraging 10, 15 or 16-year-old children, I would call them children, in schools, and we are letting them play freely with the guns and the tanks and putting in their mind, if you want to be a hero, you need to be a soldier.
You
So-
need to kill people, isn't it?
Yeah. So
In the name of, again, your favorite topic, peace.
peace, yeah.
Kill in the name of peace.
Killing in the name of peace. I mean, it's very dangerous path we are following in the
Where
world.
do we start? I mean, people, it's like a disease, see, the armaments, fighting, wars, this is like a disease. Where do we begin? I mean, we have to change the hearts of the people, see.
Yeah.
As I was talking to you, inner peace, see.
Yeah.
The outer peace comes from inner peace. You see, people are at peace with themselves, see. Then they can understand others.
Yeah, it's very important that we have inner peace, because the crux of the matter is that if you are not at peace with yourself, you cannot bring peace in the world. So you have to be in peace with yourself, which means we are not fighting with our neighbors, with our community, and with the other tribes, or with people, other opinion
Right.
formers. So that is one of the core ideas in the book, I have said, along with the Department of Peace, is the establishment of peace centers.
Yeah.
And these peace centers will work in the community for intercultural, interfaith dialogue, for mixing different communities, Turkish, Jewish, Baha'i, Muslims, Hindus, all these Christians, all these communities, and working together to know not only each other's culture, what we call multicultural, but with interfaith and other dialogue, try to know each other's culture and become aware of how communities are living, and that can lead to a path of peace.
I'll come to that later, but in one of your chapters is enemy within. Have you identified the enemy?
Yes, we have. There are enemy within is the mindset. What happened is the governments and other leaders and others, they create, and corporations and the elite, they create fear in the ordinary citizen. And the outer manifestations of that fear are terrorism, the Islamophobia, for example, hate, creation of hate,
Racism.
racism, xenophobia. All these are the outer manifestations of that enemy within. So and these are all creations for creating fear in the community, so that the governments and departments and corporations, whenever they ask for more budget, more money, they will be said, okay, fine, how much you want, 20 billion, 10 billion, you have it. You keep our streets safe. But that is a fallacy. Our streets are not safe. If that was the case, why London will be the knife crime capital of the world? Yeah? If that was the case, that if having more weapons and more knives and more guns will make us safe, then there was no need for that many murders in London, what's happening every week. So it is a fallacy. So the enemy within is a psychological fear which have been successfully created in our communities, in our societies, in our country, so that business as usual carries on.
It's more of a social problem, isn't it?
Yes.
We'll talk about that after this very short break. Don't go away. We'll be back soon after this very short break. Thank you.